The other day, the auditors, Harry Hursty and Philip Stark, gave us an exclusive, explosive interview where they told us their findings for the day after running some experiments, and what we learned from that interview became breaking news. Guys, I'm telling you right now, we caught them off guard, and they gave us a golden ticket. So apparently the auditors ran some tests, right? And they actually discovered that a lot of the mail-in ballots in Wyndham were folded in such a way that threw off the machines. And I'm actually going to do a demonstration here because a lot of you guys are visual learners. Now imagine this is a ballot and you're allowed to vote for up to 4, but no more than 4 candidates. And this person decided to vote for 3 Republicans and leave the other one blank. And then the ballot is folded, and the fold just happens to go right through the Democrat oval on candidate 1. And so I drew a really poor line to illustrate that. Well, what we found is in that scenario, the machine would actually read that as a vote. So the 3 Republicans got their vote, but the Democrat received a vote that they never actually earned. But what would happen if the person voted down ballot for all 4 Republicans and the line went through the Democrat oval? Well, since you're only allowed to vote for up to 4 candidates, that line going through the Democrat would count as a 5th vote. And in that scenario, the entire ballot wouldn't count because they voted for too many candidates, so it's considered an overvote. And so, guys, here I have a spreadsheet which contains all the data from the tabulator tapes of the 4 AccuVote machines that were used in Wyndham. So here we can look at this overvote section, and if you look on machine 1, there was 18 overvotes. Machine 2 had 292 overvotes. Machine 3 had 84, and Machine 4 had 67. So Machine 2 had way more overvotes than all the other machines. So each of those overvotes was a ballot that was not counted because the person voted for too many candidates. And it seems really strange that this phenomenon was pretty much isolated to Machine 2. And guys, that's not the only thing that was wrong with Machine 2. And even this fold situation cannot explain this phenomenon that I'm about to show you. So on Machine 1, 3, and 4, we see similar percentages for the candidates going down the ballot. 1, 3, and 4 match up just fine. But Machine 2 sticks out like a sore thumb. For instance, on Machine 1, Biden-Harris received 40% of the vote, Trump-Pence received about 60. Machine 3, 40-60. Machine 4, 40-60. But on Machine 2, Biden-Harris received 55% of the vote, and Trump-Pence received 42% of the vote. That is significant. And guys, let me tell you something. It happened all the way down the ballot on Machine 2. And even the auditors cannot explain why or how this happened. Not to mention the fact that they cannot replicate it. They can't figure out what happened on November 3rd. All of a sudden, Machine 2 is acting perfectly normal during this audit. It just somehow fixed itself. And I know for a fact after talking to Tom Murray that Harry Hursty cleared and zeroed out the machines before this audit. So if there was a hack on the machines that was flipping votes from Republicans to Democrats, we'll never know because Harry Hursty already took care of it, guys. The fix is in. Do you want to know what Harry Hursty has been saying as a potential explanation for why the machines now are not matching up with what they said on November 3rd? He's saying it's because of moisture in the room. You can't make this stuff up, guys. He's already introduced the narrative that the machines may have malfunctioned because of dust that is collected within Machine 2, and that the machine simply needs to be cleaned and maintained. So if you think that Harry Hursty, Philip Stark, and Mark Lindemann are going to give a report saying that there's something wrong with the machines and we shouldn't use them anymore and we should do a statewide audit, then you are being naive. These are not honest men with integrity, guys. The Board of Selectmen didn't choose Mark Lindemann against your will for no reason. The Attorney General's office did not hijack this audit for no reason. It's a sham. These guys are here to tell you everything is on the up and up. But Tom Murray and Ken Eyring forced them to look for this fold thing. I'm telling you, it was Tom Murray and Ken Eyring. They made them. Tom Murray collected every single record, memorized every single number. put the pressure on them, asked them all the right questions, and forced them to look into this fold thing. And they did it, and they gave us the report before they even had a chance to realize what they just gave us. They gave us a total smoking gun. And guys, we have conclusive forensic evidence that this occurred anywhere between 25 to 75% of the time. And it is so much bigger than just a local rep race in a little town in New Hampshire. But the auditors are already trying to spin the story. They're trying to cover this up and make it look like an isolated incident that only occurred in a little tiny town in a local rep race. And that's it. Look no further, folks. Nothing to see here. Move it along. Guys, this is how they're backpedaling out of this to keep it from becoming a bigger issue. They're saying that when the ballots are printed, they have what's called a score line, which means that they're printed with a weakness in the paper, which provides kind of a guide as to where the paper is supposed to be folded. And this score line, by law, cannot go through any ovals, right? So under normal circumstances, the ballots are printed with the score line, and then an election worker will fold the ballot using the score line as a guide. Okay, then they'll put it in an envelope. Then they'll send it off to the people who requested an absentee ballot. But like I said, that's under normal circumstances, right? Now, in the 2020 election, we had mass-scale mail-in voting. So the town actually borrowed a machine from the DMV, a folding machine, because they didn't have the manpower, I guess, or the resources to have human beings fold them along the score line. Now, these machines are not accurate. Okay, so what happened is the machine just said burnt, burnt, and it didn't follow the score line at all. And so we know conclusively that the way the ballots were folded caused Democrats to get votes that they didn't earn. And isn't it interesting that all of these glitches, errors, mistakes seem to somehow only benefit the Democrats? And so I wanted to know right off the bat, is there something nefarious going on here? Maybe the ballots are configured in a particular way. Maybe the way that the machine folded the ballots is on purpose. And of course, the only way to figure that out is to look at other towns, other precincts, other counties, and maybe the entire state to find out if there's a repeated pattern here and if this occurred elsewhere. But of course, the very next day, CNN gives Harry Hursty an exclusive interview, and they have their story figured out already. And so now the official narrative is that Windham was the only town that did this, the only place that this happened. They make a presumptive conclusion without all the facts. They say that it affected a local representative race and the amount of votes wasn't enough to change the outcome. So there's no reason whatsoever to look into this any further. So can we please stop talking about it and just move on? And so that's why we have to hit them, and we have to hit them hard. We have to strike now while they're dazed and confused, and they're trying to recover. So guys, this is what Tom Murray came up with. He said, we can figure out if this was a statewide issue very easily. All we need to do is get the tabulator tapes from other towns and other precincts and take a look and see if they had a high amount of overvotes. So guess what, guys? We did. Read 'em and weep, commie scum. Yes, guys, this is it. So this is Merrimack, a neighboring town, all right? And we have, on machine 3, 396 overvotes. That's a 7% of the people's ballot didn't count. Okay, now we have on machine 6, 1.6% overvotes, still really high. And on machine 9, 134 overvotes for 2.3%. Now, how about Claremont? Take a look at this, guys. On machine 1, 727 overvotes. 12.5% of the people's ballots did not count. So how about them apples, guys? We just showed similar conditions in multiple towns. It's not just Windham. It's not an isolated incident, and we need to figure out what's going on here because a lot of people's ballots were not counted. And these very same machines were used in 85% of New Hampshire. Now, guys, it gets even better than that. This is going to blow your mind. Remember how I showed you that weird thing about Machine 2 in Windham, where Machine 2 had the highest number of overvotes, but it also had pretty much opposite percentage conditions from the other 3 machines and just sticks out like a sore thumb? Well, it seems like in Merrimack, machines 3, 6, and 9, the machines with the highest number of overvotes, have the same phenomenon. Look, guys, on machine 1, Biden-Harris gets 42% and Trump-Pence gets 53%. On machine 2, Biden-Harris gets 39% and Trump-Pence gets 57%. But on machine 3, Biden-Harris gets 70% and Trump-Pence gets 27.6%. Then on machine 4, we're back to normal. Machine 5, same thing. Oh, machine 6, Biden-Harris gets 73% and Trump-Pence gets 24%. Machine 7, totally normal. Machine 8, totally normal. Machine 9, 72% for Biden-Harris, 25% for Trump-Pence. And it's like that all the way down the ballot. And guys, I can tell you, it's more than just those 2 places. It seems that every single Republican stronghold has at least one machine which is way out of proportion with the other ones and shows the Democrats are in the lead. And they have a high number of overvotes. So guys, I just showed you that this is absolutely not an isolated incident, and we need to find out what's going on here. We need a kinematic scan of all of the paper ballots throughout the state of New Hampshire, which is only about 800,000 ballots, guys. And let's remember, Maricopa, they're doing 2.1 million, so we know it can be done. And we need to look at every single one of these machines and find out what's going on. And so you're probably wondering, how do we get this to happen? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it's not that complicated. All we need is for the Senate in New Hampshire to follow the same playbook as the Senate in Arizona, because they both follow the Mason's Manual, which means that they have the same power and the same authority. So guys, all we need is for one of 2 things to happen. Either the Elections Committee introduces the subpoenas, they vote on it, then the Senate votes on it, and then the Senate president signs it. At that point, they're legal and enforceable. Or the chairman of the judiciary can write a written report to get a warrant to investigate. Then the Senate president can sign off on it, and they're legal and enforceable. So right now, guys, we have to put the pressure on the Election Law Committee chair, the judiciary chair, the Senate president. Those 3 people need to know that they have this power. They need to know that we, the people, demand a full forensic audit of the state of New Hampshire using Javon Pulitzer. And so right now, guys, I want you to look in the description of this video. Click the link to populistrevolt.com, where you'll find all of their contact info and a template letter which explains exactly what their powers are and exactly what we the people want. So guys, we need to not only just send emails, but also call them by phone. That's more effective. And what's even more effective is taking that template letter and sending them certified mail. That way there's no denying that they didn't see it or they didn't get it. So guys, we have to get to work. We can get a statewide audit of the state of New Hampshire if we just put the pressure on, guys. And I don't mean be rude to these people. I mean make it very clear that you know that they have this power and this authority, and that we have probable cause. Explain to them. Send them this video. And just like that, guys, the dominoes will fall, because we, the people, have all the power. So we have to get to work, and we have to do it now.
Maricopa County audit continues today. This is the forensic audit team is speaking out against a barrage of mainstream media reports which reported that the database's directory was never deleted. Ben Cotton, who is the founder of Cypher, a national-level forensic company which has worked in both the private and government sectors, made a statement via the Arizona Audit's Twitter page saying, "My testimony on May 19th before the Arizona Senate is being taken out of context by some media outlets. To confirm," he said, "the database's directory on the EMS primary server containing the voting databases was deleted. I was able to recover the deleted databases through forensic data recovery processes. We are performing data continuity checks to ensure that the recovered databases are usable." So, according to Cotton, the D drive of the EMS primary server was in fact deleted. However, because of his extensive experience in the forensic field, he was able to recover the deleted files, which is exactly what he said at the Arizona State Senate hearing on the 19th.
In the course of your analysis of the EMS server, did you determine that the database directory had been deleted?
I did, and if I could add a little bit of color behind that. So we follow a very strict forensics acquisition process. In the course of performing that MFT discovery, I discovered a MFT that clearly indicated that the database directory was deleted from that server. So all of this, however, may be a moot point because subsequently I've been able to recover all of those deleted files. I have access to that.
However, because of the misinterpretation of Mr. Cotton's statements by numerous media outlets and the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, an attorney for the board sent a letter to the Arizona State Senate threatening to sue over what they call false claims about the deleted directory. In addition, the letter directed the Senate and the forensic auditors to preserve any records related to the audit, including emails, text messages, computer files, cell phones, and other devices.
Hello, everyone, and we are live. Gail Golick here with the beautiful and lovely Marilyn Todd and our fabulous Donald Riedel, and they are our activists from New Hampshire, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to have you guys here this afternoon to talk a lot about what's going on in New Hampshire. We've had some great breaking stories and positive news, I guess, even though you know, we're finding that there was the 5-letter F word, or it could be dirt. One or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know you guys just came off of a great weekend with Nick Cedar as well. So I would love to talk with you. I'll just start with you, Marilyn. Tell us what's going on with your life in New Hampshire these days.
So the only times I went to the audit was when I had questions for the AG and stuff because I'm too vocal to be there. So I got myself in trouble a few times while I was there because I just don't understand what they're not understanding about, you know, this is our freedom we're talking about. And I don't feel like New Hampshire's taking it seriously. And it's just, you know, so it was important for you know, our people to be there, the people with New Hampshire Voter Integrity and the people with Government Integrity Project, but it wasn't. I knew that I'm too hot-headed to be there the whole time, so I went a few days, and you know, I have a lot of good footage. We're working on a videographer. So to put that footage together so people don't watch like 2 hours of nothing, but you know, I have a lot of great footage. I know they were reviewing it all yesterday too.
And you're talking about videotaping
the audit.
The audit, okay?
Because the big sham. That's what we're calling it. It's not an audit. It's the big sham.
Yeah. It is. I mean, well, I guess the good thing that came out of it was the fact that they had to admit that the folding of the ballots did change the results of the election. So, which is true, but that's what they're trying to focus on it right now. And it's like, no, that's not just the only thing. Like I have, and they're trying to say that it's isolated to Wyndham too. And that's what's driving me nuts is because there's over 200 machines in New Hampshire. And Wyndham is not the only anomaly. I've been working really hard on the citizens audit. That's actually what I've been working on all day today. But, you know, Wyndham is not the only anomaly. And I wish I wasn't so OCD so I could start showing people like my audit, the citizens audit that we're doing in the New Hampshire Voter Integrity Group. But it's just, you know, there's so many different anomalies. And, you know, Hursty really upsets me because he's programmed these cards to switch votes himself. And for some, like a lot of people maybe new to the New Hampshire political scene, so who is Hursty? Kirsty is the Secretary of State and the AG's pick to do for one of the auditors that was chosen for New Hampshire. And so basically he's the one who did like Hacking Democracy and I think Kill Chain. I think he did Kill Chain too. But so in Hacking Democracy, he literally programs a card himself. So he knows that these cards can be programmed, and he's trying to blame it. He's trying to isolate the paper folds, and it's like, you haven't even looked at the memory cards yet. So why are you making that, you know, that assumption without even doing the full forensic audit? And like, it's just premature because people are gonna, you know, I just really hope that New Hampshire doesn't listen to, you know, I hope
the propaganda. The propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, we get it all the time here in Arizona, as you know. I mean, we're just so used to it. I mean, Dominion and the Board of Supervisors, they come out with their propaganda report about, like, for instance, in our case, the routers. You know, they're afraid of being able to give out health information and social security numbers. I mean, it was just all bogus. Actually, I mean, and you're a leader right now, and you're taking a leadership movement. We were kind of talking about how it's just nonstop all the time. And, you know, we're just also grateful for you because, you know, somebody's going to do it, right? And so you just kind of go like, all right, well, if not me, who, right? And so here you are. And you are doing it, and Don, you know, you've been able to you've connected, helped me get connected in a lot of ways too, and so there's just we all kind of are working together. There is no master puzzle or one right way to do it, but it seems to be working because we're making forward progress and we are exposing it, and the Patriots are not going to back down. You know, President Trump had a statement a couple days ago. I think it was yesterday. I was going to read it there, but let me read it for you guys. It says, New Hampshire's election audit has revealed that large-scale voting machines appear to count non-existing votes. State and local communities are seeking confirmation. It's probably true, but we'll soon know. Why aren't Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Republicans doing anything about what went on in the 2020 election? How can the Democrats be allowed to get away with this? It will go down as the crime of the century. Other states like Arizona, Georgia, where a judge just granted a motion to unseal and inspect ballots from the 2020 election, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and more to follow. So, you know, you guys are in the news. President Trump is noticing this, and he's got such a valid point. You know, we're watching some of these states doing something, but the federal government must know by now, you know, what the heck is going on. I saw Lindsey Graham is all of a sudden on, you know, the president's side again. And I'm like, yeah, a little late, buddy. Yeah, a little late. So, no, I'm sorry, no forgiveness. You've got to go. I mean, we can't have any more of this stuff in America. We've got to start taking our country back with patriots like, you know, you guys out there, you know, leading the way. So
I think the worst part is like so many more people would be involved if our lives weren't so crazy. Like, I'm fortunate enough, you know, where we have rental properties and my husband, you know, it has a good job. So I was able to take a leave of absence. But if I wasn't able to take a leave of absence, I wouldn't be able to do anything, you know, because my life is already insane, you know, never mind, you know, adding this on top of it. And it's just like, and that's the part that is the worst, is that we need so much more help, and we need people to like run that are good, but they're all busy. And, you know, New Hampshire's senators and state reps, they get paid $100 a year, you know. So, and I'm not saying that needs to change. I'm just saying that, like, America just keeps us so busy, and when I look throughout history, we're just getting busier and busier and busier, like, you know, and it's not supposed to be like this. It's really not supposed to be like this, you know. So, I mean, I can't wait to go back to the original Constitution, because and the way things were meant to be. And
I think it's so important that we are all focusing on that now. I guess that's been, again, you know, with God can take things from bad to good, and we know that to be true, and so we can look at what's going on right now and see how the patriotism is coming back, and it's coming back in a bigger way, and people are self-studying. Thank you, Kathy Malone. Thank you, Kathy Malone, for your donation. I appreciate it. And if you do give me a super sticker and somebody else is talking and you see the flag, that's what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging that. Just so you guys know. Thank you.
I just wish that more representatives and more, state senators would step up to the plate. I mean, that's really what needs to happen here is that we need more people in our government. And I'm not just talking about New Hampshire. I'm talking about all the way around.
Agreed.
And, me and you had this discussion briefly yesterday because I was like, how did you guys get the people you wanted in there? Because New Hampshire, no matter what we did, I'm 100% convinced that no matter what we did, I don't care if 75% of New Hampshire came to Wyndham that day, we were not going to be able to get the auditor that we chose. Like, there was just nothing that we could have done. And, and I never feel like that. I always feel like if there's a will, there's a way, except for, and I've lived my whole life by that saying, and except for in this one instance, because it was like, we did everything in our, Don, we did petitions, we did emails, we did phone calls, we did
notices,
just everything we could possibly do, and nothing we
midnight, 1 o'clock.
And I just found out a new reason. I don't, so I guess the reason why New Hampshire can't find a lawyer because our lawyer dropped out yesterday, which is super frustrating after, weeks and weeks of saying it was he's gonna file the lawsuit. He's gonna file the lawsuit, and this is why I was like really upset yesterday. Is it was supposed to be filed yesterday, and then all of a sudden, and this is what every rep is saying to me too, and it's really driving me nuts. But they want to see, they want to wait till the audit report comes out, which is in 45 days. What do you mean? Why does it matter? I don't care about these people's audit reports. I don't trust them. I don't care about them. I want the ballots scanned in, and I want the ballots released to us. And my biggest, and so I guess Bill Shaheen, do you know who Bill Shaheen is, Gail?
No.
So Bill Shaheen was, I guess, is Jean Shaheen's husband, and he was the prosecutor for the FBI and like the CIA and stuff. So he was like, the DOJ's prosecutor. Okay. So he lives in New Hampshire, and I guess he has like full control over the New Hampshire bar. So that's why New Hampshire can't have a lawyer. And it's really sad because the last lawyer that we found, like told us yesterday that I don't know if he's scared. I mean, he was all on board to go. He's worked so hard on this, and I don't understand how all of a sudden it stopped. And I was talking to somebody about it, and they were like, why you're having such a hard time finding a lawyer? And I was like, why? And the person was like, because Jean Shaheen's husband is Bill Shaheen, and he used to be the DOJ prosecutor. And I was like, oh, that's great. So
yeah, it's just all politically connected, and it's such an uphill battle. But yet, I know for a fact you're not going to stop.
No.
Right. And I know for a fact we're not stopping here in Arizona. And I'm watching some people starting to roll in Wisconsin. We know Georgia is doing, obviously, we've got some great news out of Georgia as well, where we're getting ballots that are going to be, the boxes are going to be unsealed, and we're going to get them scanned. So we've got some great news out of Georgia moving forward. So it's taking time, but I am in the same position as you. Like as far as we need to do something now, and I'm saying to my Senate, ban the machines, get them out now. Get them out now, get them on, get a law on the books. We need to ban them now. We need 1 day, 1 vote, piece of paper, and we need the mail-in ballots to be only for the military, disabled, very, very limited amount, of professions that can't get out, to vote, but that's it. Like, we need to be there on that day. And if we had precincts that were small, like 1,000 people in our precinct, we could literally go in there on one day, and even if 80% voted, we would be able to do that.
Yeah.
And you would, and I would say, in some countries, they actually put their thumb in ink. Let's do that too, instead of putting a sticker on, thumbs up, I voted today. Get the patriotism back,
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is that that's really what it's all about, getting our country back. But the vote is what we're fighting for, and I don't know how anybody could stop fighting for that at this point. Because we know.
And I don't understand why people aren't fighting harder. Like, I don't understand. Like, they're like, oh, we have these bills, we have these bills. Who cares about those bills? I don't care about them. We need to focus on the election. And, I talked to one of our election law committee senators, James Gray, today. And basically he said to me, because I said to him, I said, Wyndham's not the only anomaly. Like, there's anomalies in so many other towns in New Hampshire. And he basically said the same thing that everybody else is saying. Because I was like, can you put in a law so that we can audit 5 towns that the Secretary of State doesn't have their ballots? Because the towns hold their ballots unless there's a recount. So if there's a recount, they go back to the Secretary of State's office. And so I'm like, let's take 5 towns who still possess their ballots and let's do a recount on those. Not even an audit. Let's just do a recount. And he's like, no, I need to see evidence of your evidence is the 4 machines in Wyndham, because those machines are everywhere, in New Hampshire. Those are the only machines we're allowed to use in New Hampshire. So what more evidence do you need? He's like, well, I only think that it's Wyndham. He's like, you need to show me another hand. So basically he was trying to say that New Hampshire had a bunch of hand recounts that tied in. But Gil, do you remember when the professor showed you that video of our Secretary of State? Yes. Well, so we can't rely on those ballots. So let's have another recount. And it's not even for conspiracy or anything like that. It's about, let's make sure we're free. Why is it so hard to ensure our freedom? And I said this to James Gray today, I've literally seen I've seen raids, SWAT team raids from the state and from the feds go into innocent businesses. And these are innocent businesses, some of them, not all of them. I've literally seen them go in unannounced during business hours, take the POS systems, take any financial documents they may want to ensure the accuracy of their money. However, we can't ensure the accuracy of our freedom, and we have to jump through all these hoops. And, I think that's where, the problem lies, is that they have all these rights and they have all these things that they're allowed to do, but we're not allowed to, to ensure our freedom because there wasn't a recount that was off in another place. And it was like, well, look at the Secretary of State video and from 2008. There's a reason, that came out again.
Just, we need to band together, not just people in New Hampshire, but people all across the country that are all the patriots that are fighting for, voter integrity. And, people need confidence that they're going back to a ballot box, and that their vote is going to count for something. And, instead of all this, people, they just don't want to go back to voting it, if this is the way it's going to be. So
I know. I think a lot of us, we're all, a lot of people talk about running for an election, but it's just like, well, if you're an activist, what do you think the odds are that you might be on the fold next?
Yeah.
I mean, so, it's one of those things where you just don't know. So we really have to take control of it. I've heard from my senators that say, oh, well, we might be able to get it fixed by the general, but not by the primary. And I'm like, there's no excuse. I mean, what are they talking about? I don't care that you don't get paid for this. Like, none of us are getting paid for this.
Yeah.
This is your country. Like, you're supposedly the people that are doing this for the love of country. And yet you're going to go home.
And I wish they would step down. Step down. If you don't want to fight for us, then step down.
Step down.
I will take your position. You know, there's a million of us that will take your positions and do what's right.
Right.
You know, but and that's the sad part, is they won't even step down. They won't even step down. If you don't want to do it, then we will.
Yeah, I totally, absolutely, totally, 100% agree. So, you know, we are struggling. We are trying really hard. I'm doing another show tonight, you guys, on at a couple hours from now, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, where I know of a professor and a teacher, but this teacher in Wisconsin who has she's daughter in elementary school, and the daughter was not wearing her mask properly. So they put her in a corner during recess with her mask on, and the teacher like humiliated her, took a picture and sent it to her mom, who was another teacher. So she went to the board and exposed it all, and the board gave her a leave of absence upon further investigation for going in as a teacher. She was a mom, and they got rid of her. I mean, we have to expose this stuff. We can't.
The Board of Education, I've noticed, across America needs to go. They all need to go. I'm noticing. Like, I thought it was just my Board of Education, but you know, the
teachers. We've got down at the Capitol. You know, it's budget season, so all of our what we call Red for Ed. You know, they're like looking for more money.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Amazing grace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me read this to you. Just this morning, the Arizona House Appropriations Committee stripped Secretary of State Katie Hobgoblin of her ability to defend herself in election lawsuits. It gave the power exclusively to the Attorney General. Oh, what a beautitude, man. Oh, what a beautitude right here. Blessed are they who aren't crooked and corrupt and have to defend themselves in court cases, for theirs shall be fair elections. That's what the Bible says. So Katie Hobgoblin is the elected official in Arizona responsible for overseeing the election. All right, people. She's also the chick that's been asking for the Department of Justice to come down to this audit. She's been working with a lot of lawyer firms, including Madam Corruption herself, Hillary Clinton's cleanup firm, Perkins Coie. They spent a good $5 million recruiting lawyers from all across the country to fight this audit. And today, the Arizona House Appropriations Committee just literally said she can no longer recruit these woke lawyers to come defend herself. In fact, now she has to contact Mark Bainovich, the Attorney General in Arizona, and plead for his greatness to come in and defend her. Oh, but here's the beautitude here. Mark Bainovich, the Attorney General, already called out Katie Hobgoblin and her bullcrap about the audit being insecure. Dear Secretary Hobbs, you allege that the Senate may be in violation of several laws, but provide no facts other than a reference to recent reports that you believe suggest that the Senate may be in violation of the court order. This does not meet the standard of a credible allegation. It is speculation insufficient to support the request for an official investigation. Moreover, the separation of powers in our political system demands difference to co-equal branches of government to conduct their lawful business. It would therefore be inappropriate to interrupt the auditing process simply because someone asserts it could be handled in some other manner. Any such request should be directed to Karen Fan. This is the person that's going to be defending Katie Hobbs from now on. Rest assured, to the fullest extent of the Attorney General's jurisdiction, I have and will continue to investigate all allegations that our laws may have been violated. Any such complaints, however, must be based on credible facts and not just conjecture or politics. Perhaps one thing that we can all recognize at this point in the process is the imperative of pursuing and maintaining robust integrity laws. They are necessary to secure accurate results and promote public confidence in the process. Sincerely, Mark Bainovich. Now, Trump did criticize the Arizona Attorney General for supposedly not doing something, and I'm over here like, he shouldn't do anything. He should just sit there and watch. And now, the Arizona Senate is saying, Katie Hobbs, you're going to have to ask this guy to defend you. Anyone wonder why Katie Hobgoblin's been going out to the mainstream media telling them, oh, the machines are damaged. Oh no, we're not going to use those machines anymore. Yeah! Woo! No more machines. Yeah! No more of those. Well, it's simple. Once this audit is complete and the results will be damning, the Arizona Senate Judiciary Chair Warren Peterson and Karen Fann will be signing more subpoenas to all the other Arizona counties. And I'm sure Katie Hobbs will intervene and sue the Senate for doing this and claim that, well, your work in Maricopa damaged their machines. Stop! And Mark Bainovich will go, okay. Did they? No, you're just claiming they did. See, they never actually provided any evidence of those machines being tampered or broken. They're simply saying, well, they should not be used because these stupid Republicans, they touched them. They molested the machines like Joey Bribes. Well, I apologize and I wish you luck, Katie. I wish you a lot of luck. Now, of course, the mainstream media is calling the Arizona Senate dictators and using politics to score points. Yeah, this happens all the time, doesn't it? Remember when Trump asked for money to build the wall and Congress just said no? Well, in this instance, Katie Hobgoblin is getting stripped of the ability to have her baseless claims be heard in court. The normal process is that typically when a state official is in a lawsuit, the attorney general defends them. That's how it works. For some reason, Katie Hobgoblins, for the last few months, has been using these woke attorneys, the cleanup firm for Madam Corruption herself, Hillary Rodham Clinton, to do her work and to do her bidding. So right now, this should mean no more lawsuits in the future where Katie Hobgoblin's going to have these woke lawyers. No more of that. Now, of course, Maricopa County is still going to have its stupid lawyers, but at least now we just knocked off one giant. The next giant is to complete this audit, bring the results to the world, and inform every single Arizona citizen, inform the entire globe about this audit, because every lie will be revealed. Thank you, Katie. Your service has been rather commendable. You have helped this audit gain more attention than ever before, but it's time for you to go.